today I'm actually going to be doing a review, and the book I'm going to be reviewing is Gilded Cage by Vic James. This is an arc. I won it in one of Goodreads giveaways, so thank you to Goodreads for hosting the giveaway. Can't believe I won because I never win anything, so that was pretty exciting. And this actually just came out last week on Tuesday, the 14th, on Valentine's Day. So February 14th is when this book was released, and I was hoping to get a review of this out sooner, at least by the day it came out, but that just didn't end up happening. But it's still a new release, so here we go. Let's get into the review. So first off, I'm going to read you the synopsis on the back because I am terrible. You guys know I am terrible at summarizing books, so sometimes it's just way easier to read the synopsis on the back. So it says, "Not all are free, not all are equal, not all will be saved. Our world belongs to the equals, aristocrats with magical gifts, and all commoners must serve them for 10 years. But behind the gates of England's grandest estate lies a power that could break the world. A girl thirsts for love and knowledge. Abby is a servant to England's most powerful family, but her spirit is free. So when she falls for one of their noble-born sons, Abby faces a terrible choice. Uncovering the family secret might win her liberty, but will her heart pay the price? A boy dreams of revolution. Abby's brother Luke is enslaved in a brutal factory town. Far from his family and cruelly oppressed, he makes friends whose ideals could cost him everything. Now Luke has discovered there may be a power even greater than magic, revolution. And an aristocrat will remake the world with his dark gifts. He is a shadow in the glittering world of the equals, with mysterious powers no one else understands. But will he liberate or destroy?" So, from that synopsis, this just sounded so good, and I really couldn't wait to get it and read it. So I got it. I won it, like I said, in the Goodreads giveaway, and I was finally able to read it. I will say the pacing in this book seems kind of off. The beginning and the middle, the pacing is kind of slow, which is expected with, this is a fantasy dystopian series, and so there's a lot of world building that's involved. So, first books with fantasy series, of course, they're going to be a little bit on the slower side because there's a whole world that you have to build. But then towards the end, I felt like then it really became really fast-paced. So I just feel like the pacing is a little bit off with this. And could have been, more evenly paced out. I gave this I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. It has a lot of potential. I think the series has a lot of potential, and from what I read from the synopsis, it sounded really interesting, which is why I wanted to read it. So I think it does have a lot of potential, but I feel like the first book fell a little bit flat for me. A couple things with this book is, like I said, the end was pretty fast-paced, and the end has a lot of twists and turns that I just was not expecting. I didn't see coming. So that was interesting. I liked how the turn of events towards the end, because it really got interesting and I wasn't expecting what happened to happen. And it leaves you on such a huge cliffhanger, you guys. So I definitely am going to be picking up the second book and checking that out, because this leaves you on such a huge cliffhanger, and I can't believe I've got to wait a whole year for the second book to find out what's going to happen next, because I want to know. Like, the way that ended just happened, I'm like, don't leave it there. Don't leave me there. Like, seriously? So, just be forewarned, there is a huge cliffhanger in here, and I want to know what's going to happen. Like I said, a couple things I did have issues with this book. One being the multiple point of views. There's quite a bit of multiple point of views in here. It switches back and forth between different characters' point of views. And so I feel like you can't really connect with any of the characters because of that. I mean, it's not even a long book, you guys. It's only 310 pages. So it's a pretty short book, and with it switching back and forth between different characters' point of views, I feel like you don't really connect with any of the characters much. I feel like for it to have worked better, I would have liked to see us spend more time with some of the characters, which obviously means this would have been bigger, longer, which is okay. A good example, I would say, would be the Diviners. The Diviners has a pretty big cast of characters, and they switch different point of views in that story. But the book is such a huge book, but it in a good way, because it gives you time to really follow the characters and connect with the characters. And I feel like that's where this kind of fell short, is because we didn't have that time to really follow them and connect with them. Another thing I will say with the series is, well, one thing I do like is that it's not heavy on the romance. There is a romance aspect in here, like the synopsis says, with Abby and one of the noble-born sons, one of the equal sons. But it's not like the main focus of the book. It's not heavily focused. In fact, if anything, the romance in the book is very minimal and very kind of on the back burner as to everything else that happens in the book. So that is a pro for me, because I don't like books that are heavily focused on the romance or relationship. I don't mind having it in a book, but I need something else to keep my attention besides the romance. So I like that about this, but at the same time, it's like a double-edged sword, because then when you do see the relationship between Abby and the equal son, it doesn't feel real or believable. It feels kind of forced, because you don't see them too much together. I mean, you know that she works with them. They work side by side, close in an office. But you don't see too much of their relationship and how it builds up and how they start falling for each other. And I think in that sense, it just, because we don't get to see that, it feels not real and almost like insta-love. It almost feels insta-lovey. And I think that's because we don't really get to see the progression of their relationship. So it is kind of a double-edged sword, because I like that it's not heavily focused on the romance, but it probably could have focused just a little bit more on it so that it felt more real and it felt believable. I will say one other thing with the series is with the characters, sometimes it got confusing as to who's related to who. Like, this person is this person's aunt, and this person is an equal from this family line, and they're fighting with this person, and it got a little bit confusing at times, I will say that. So that's another thing with having a bigger cast of characters, is that sometimes things get a bit confusing. But other than that, like I said, I gave this, I think, 3 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't quite what I was expecting. But I do see the potential for this series, and this is the first book, so like I said, there was a lot that it had to set up as far as world building and explaining how things work. So I do think it has potential, and I do want to see where this series goes. I'm hoping that it just gets better and better and better from here. So yeah. So that's pretty much it for my review, you guys. Let me know in the comments down below if you've already read Gilded Cage. I know it just came out recently, but if you have already read it, let me know in the comments below what you thought about it, and I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye.